Normally, you don't hear my voice on samples. However, I'm going to do it this morning because I went over a few pages of this author's experiences. And though I make no judgment on her experience, I will say this: her experience shows you that there's a way that this world works, and we don't know everything about how this world works and all those in the play. If you are an avid listener to me, you know, and watch my videos, you know how I feel about the theater, the world being a stage, the Galactica, the Federation, the uh, low consciousness, high consciousness, demons, angels, angles, gurus, all of those things, bishops, popes, everything. Religion, personal relationships with our personalities. My perspective is this: in the game called life, because it truly is a game. Remember that after I read this, remember that I see life as a game inside of this constructed matrix, slightly simulation. I see it as a game of consciousness. I also see that, yes, she's correct. We do have help, unseen help, because they are veiled. And every now and then you'll see them unveiled based on probably what you're going through and how willing you are to see through the veil and how you've set aside time to deal with yourself. So, in saying that, her story, like when she talks about Yeshua, and I'm thinking Yeshua means Joshua. So I'm listening to her, but I have a lot of understanding about a lot of things that are veiled. So I'm not coming from her perspective when I'm reading. I'm not saying, yes, I believe what she's saying. I'm saying that what she's saying is what she's saying. However, in my videos, I know who Yeshua is. It's Joshua. And I know that Jesus is another character called Inky. And also, Christ is an awareness of consciousness. It's not his last name. So, and I know that names have been changed through the eons of time. She mentions that too, but she says it in such a casual way because he said it in a casual way. Now, many people practice uh, projecting, astral projecting. I choose not to do that. I'm a dreamer. If I need to see or know anything in my dream, I can see it there, go there, because that's another reality. But I know that there are things in this reality, in this realm, that will enter your body if you leave your body, and you don't want to give. I just would say, you leave your body, you're gonna need a guide. You won't be able to guide yourself into realms that you've never been in. So anyway, I would just rather depend on myself. I do have help. I've had help since I was a child, from danger seen and unseen, when I was in religion, when I'm out of religion now. However, I do not require those who have always helped me, whether you call them angels, whether you call them uh, the good, the bad, the ugly. I don't, you know, um, I know that they help. Yeah, I don't require them to help. I say, look, if it look like I need some help about to do something stupid, maybe make a statement or move something out the way. However, I don't have my living and moving and being through guides or my help. I look inwardly at myself for help because to me, that's how it should be. I have everything that I would ever need. I am all things that I'll ever be. So with that perspective, I have to lean inward. And I think some people lean outward because that's just programmed. That's how they've been taught as a kid. And it's hard sometimes to get off of that frame of mind. However, for me, it's just I would rather do it self, and if there's any outward help, well, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. as long as it's not anything that's going to lead me away from knowing self. Okay. Right. Downloads from one consciousness, a personal journey to enlightenment. Mona Lisa Colburn. I'll say this off the cuff that all videos that I produce are really for my enhancement. So that's the reason why I don't worry about whether or not a video is too long or a video is too short. I always go back on my videos, and during in times of any type of disruption, I can go back to my own videos and encourage myself. Like I said previous, the goal is for me to master self and no one else to master me. And when you look up to other people or you depend on other people, they can become your master according to your flesh and master according to your spirit. And no one's the master here but me. Though I invite encouragement and assistance on the outward because I have always had it, even as a child. Uh, you know, you know. Prelude. This inspirational read was written without plan or forethought. It came to her one day at a time after or during a visit from the spiritual world, which she's learning is this world. These are personal experiences of awakening that involve her great grandfather, Yeshua, Jesus Christ. Now, y'all know what I say, how I feel about those terms. I know that that's not the name, but anyway. Please note that my awakening journey, she says, began very slowly many years ago. She has always had some psychic ability like astral projecting and having out of body experiences. It doesn't mean that she's a bad person, nothing like that. It just means that for some reason she got access to that. It may be from an experience, but anyway. There are other things that happen to children that cause that cup to break a little more open. She says, even in my youth, after going to public 4-year college, I learned pretty much that God was a lie and we all come from apes. I became disillusioned and struggled with my faith. She says, what is our purpose if we just turn to dust? In my mid 30s, she says, my sister 2D passed away, causing much grief for me. Then her visit from the other side let her know that we do continue after death. At that point, she felt all those who believed otherwise weren't just otherwise just weren't in the know. Interesting. A few years later, Dr. Wayne Dreyer in 20,000, or I often say 2000, introduced me to the concept, she says, that we are spiritual beings living in a human body. She says, I've been on my own spiritual journey ever since. During that time, she wrote a series of novels called Dream Navigators that she felt was inspired from many dreams, her spirit guides, and life on the other side. Did she have a near death experience or something? Interesting. She says, I will continue to work to see that they are published for all to read soon. What this book, these writings occur within 1 month. With this book, these writings occur within 1 month's time. I have journaled this month's spiritual experiences, hoping that they may inspire you on your own personal spiritual path. May it be a light, a seed, inspiration to those who are willing to let the glass shatter. That's what I'm saying. There's been a lot of shattering probably going on with this lady. With abundant love and gratitude, Mona Lisa Colburn. A lot of times when you go through a lot of shattering, it's easy to implement welcoming help. But I would say be cautious. Be cautious in your bewilderment, in your time of uh, grieving. Be cautious because everything you'll ever need already resides in you. Any wisdom you'll ever need resides in you. Who you'll ever be It's already in you. It's already there. You're already all things you'll ever be. That's beautiful. That's positive. Eh, and that negative too. You just have to accept it and move towards neutrality. But anyway, download one. This was June 5th, 2023 of last year. She says, "Dearest grandfather, Yeshua, Jesus Christ, and all the other names that have been given to you." So she has an idea that the character Jesus Christ isn't what everyone or who everyone thinks he is. She says Yeshua. Of course, Yeshua, when you look in the Hebrew dictionary, means Joshua. It always has meant Joshua, the guy that was on in the cleft of the rocks, waiting on Moses. So, but uh, there have been many people named Jesus, Yeshua, even Anunnaki humanoid named Inky was reincarnate as that character as well. However, whatever this person's telling her seems to be relatively um, useful. Let's say it like that. First, how are you? Okay, so he says, "I'm fine, thank you, my dearest granddaughter. Yes, you hear me laughing. You look older than I at this time. Don't worry, granddaughter, grandfather are labels on the earth realm." He's playing along with her, calling her granddaughter because she calls him grandfather. Um, so this is how you know all of those in the veiled world, the other dimensions, are actors who are playing roles, who are not who you think they are. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm not saying they're good. However, they're just playing a role. They're part of the game too. All the levels are inside the game. And I know you would think, no, the only gaming would be right here on this earth. Well, where do you think they are? They're on the earth. They're just in different frequencies, but they're on the earth. Some live on the outer ice walls, but they're on the earth. I mean, anyway. Okay, so it says, my question is this, and I'm getting questions from others that know about me. No, that know about you. Sorry. How do I answer them honestly without shattering their glass wall, so to speak? Yeah, it's early in the morning too, so by no means are you gonna get perfection here. Always answer them with the truth. Tell them it's the truth that has been revealed to you and the truth as you see it. So the truth is how she sees it. So remember earlier I said his she acknowledges that he is someone else, but called by many names, and that's the truth. That's actually the truth. Is that sort of kind of a little spooky? Yeah, because you really don't know who you're dealing with. Are you dealing with the bearer of the light? Who are you dealing with? See what I'm saying? But that's fine. Let's listen to what he's saying though, because uh, in between all of this, I'm gleaming. I can glean um, the helpful parts. Tell them too that we share a unique bond and that you can channel what is known as Yeshua. Yeah, did you hear how he said that? That you can channel what is known as Yeshua consciousness. So you think you know who Yeshua is, but really it's a consciousness. It's some notion attached to a name. Now you can always test a consciousness or a spirit because you have to find out whether or not this thing wants to live through you, in you, you know? What is the purpose of your help? You know what I'm saying? Some people just are callous and they just case around whatever gonna be. But I'm not gonna spend no judgment on this character, okay? Because he's a character through your writings. Interesting. So let me go back. She says, tell them, he says, tell them too that we share a unique bond in that you can channel what is known as Yeshua consciousness through your writings. Interesting. It is part of your gifts. It sounds like part of his gifts because if he's the one writing it and he's using her, he's walking in her, got to be a walk in, then it's not really a gift. It's more of an offering. You would think an offering and a gift is the same thing. I would say not. I would say it's not. Okay. Secondly, we all know what happens to glass when you drop it. Sometimes walls need to crumble. Yeah, that's true. I'll agree with him on that. So, a friend of mine asks, when are you coming back? So, there are people who believe that Yeshua, Jesus, is going to come in the clouds on a white horse with fire in his eyes and a sword in his hand, be riding on a white horse across this land, and he'll be calling out to you and me, will you ride with me? Anyway, that's a song. Um, so it says, I wanted to tell them that you are here, that you are back, but I didn't say a word. So what she's saying is that when you think of heaven being far away, it's not. I've always known that. I've always known that. I remember I told we was having a Tuesday morning Bible study, and I was telling one of the speakers that heaven is within, and evidently hell is within as well, because you either take yourself to those dimensions because of your consciousness, because of you judging yourself. See, no one can clear you of judgment. No, not one. Your own consciousness has to clear you of judging yourself. See, and that comes through actually you feeling like you've done the work. And many people are told that work out your soul salvation, but by no means is working out your soul salvation has anything to do with clearing up your karma. It's sort of kind of double speak to me. But to each his own. So let's see. You would have been correct as love consciousness for those who have ears to hear, eyes to see. Remember, you saw me with your third eye. So he says, you would have been correct as love consciousness for those who have ears to hear and eyes to see. What did she say? I didn't say a word. So he's saying, okay, you're correct for not saying anything because they would have to awaken from the sleep. And of course, our genome has been put to sleep in that 2020 thing that they did. I don't know how many times I have to say this when the world got shut down and they marked people. And if you didn't get this marker, then you was a bad person because now you don't care about society. And Dr. Anthony Fauci, the Jesuit who worked for the Jesuit Pope Francis, uh, their oath of death was ensuring that people get this thing, or if you didn't, the Pope was actually calling it sinful. I have a feeling that this female right here actually, she seems almost like she's of that faith, but how would she not know about Darwin's theory? How would she not understand that some people believe we come from apes? However, our genome just got spliced and all that. But anyway. So anyway, let's move forward. Yes, you had a beautiful golden glow. I felt so fortunate to see you and feel your love. So I say, she says, my grandfather Yeshua has come back and is here for all those who know that God is within. Now, a lot of people believe that, that, uh, like Mary says, is the God in me? You know, a lot of people know that, however, of course, I don't want to go into the spiel about the term God, but remember on the Wizard of Oz, who pulled back the curtain? It was Toto, the dog. And in the world of duality, there is a up and a down, a black and a white, a cold and a hot, a moon and a sun. There is day and night. There's female and male. So what I'm trying to say is, um, everything isn't what you think it is. The term God, if you rotate it, is dog, and dog has a word attached to it, dogma. And if you flip dogma the other way, is I am God, dog am I. So anyway, move forward. Normally I don't do the readings like this, but if I have to read something, you're gonna have to hear my thought on it. Normally I let the machine do it, but I say if I'm gonna read something, oh, you gonna hear my thoughts. uh, Bless Mona Lisa. See, not magical at all, not even superhuman power, unless you call love superhuman power. Love is the strongest magical superhuman power of all. Never forget, my child. Never forget love. Now, you know the strange thing about the term love? Love is a term that's supposed to be unconditional, but love also has different varieties, that I've learned about when I was younger. There's not just one kind of love, and to me, when I hear the term love, it's almost like saying the generic term God. Love is almost like a generic term. However, I will say my favorite term is peace, because in peace you can understand peace, you can view peace. See, it's like, for me, peace resonates because peace says all is well with my soul, all is well with me. Peace to me is the superpower, the superhuman power that no matter what storms and tricks and plots and all these things they do inside of this game, can you stay in peace? Because remember, you can love someone and you haven't spoken to them in 10 years, but you know you love them. You haven't visited someone in 5 years, but you know you love them. No doubt. Caring is different than love as well. But the term peace, I would tell this guy, Yeshua, that peace rules and reigns. Peace. Because when there's peace, you're going to see love. When there's peace, you're going to see joy. When there's peace, you're going to find hope. Because people can love you when all hell is breaking loose. But that thing, peace, it's like a river. It's like a frequency. I love peace. See, you got peace in the midst of a storm. Can nobody rock you? Can nobody move you with peace? See. Yes. Well, she says, I've been working on love my entire life. See? Entire life. I do love animals unconditionally, my family, my friends. But check this out. She says, first, I do love animals unconditionally. Why would she put animals first before children, her family, and friends? I'll tell you why I think she did that. Because as humans, we maybe put the things that have not offended us first. And then second, she put children, maybe because they're children and because they may have offended her, but okay, they're my children. Then her family and then her friends. That was interesting. And then there's that but. Yeah, but means she's going to say something totally opposite. Okay, I know you taught us not to judge others, lest we be judged. See, that's what I'm saying. She has to be a Catholic or something. But I thought that her Christ was the Pope. Okay, anyway. But, okay, so he says, unconditional love has no buts. Unconditional means without conditions. I'm sure she knows that. Also, it helps to have self love that is unconditional. So, unconditional love would be just not hating someone. I'm just not going to hate anybody. Remember, caring and loving is different. Caring is an expression. However, love is solid. Love is just what it is. There's no expectation. Because you have no expectation, then you can still love the person even though they may have done some things that sad and pitiful to you. You know what I'm saying? I could think of some folks that I love, but man, you look back over when I look back over my life, I say, man, they did some sad, pitiful stuff. And you just don't hold it against them because they're in this avatar, they're in this body, and they're going through the same thing you have now to go through, and it's called life in the game. Okay, so also it helps to have self-love that is unconditional. And I'll give a tip on self-love. The first step for self-love is not to look outward for love. Okay? Don't look outward. So if you look inward, how would that look? Well, make a list, a chart of the things you love to do or the things that just bring you joy. You know the little moments where you have the little glee of happiness, you just tickled in your little soul. Write those things down. But you write a list of things down that you absolutely can do by yourself. Not things that you need to do outside with other folks. Like for me, I can color without my husband. I can draw without my husband. He's my best friend. I can sing without my husband. I can design without my husband. I could do my nails without my husband. I could do my feet without my husband. I could spend time, massaging my hair, getting my scalp right. I can, I can plug my chin. We're getting older now. I can do a load of laundry, wash them, dry them, fold them a certain way that brings me joy. I can watch a 3-hour episode about uh, maybe a prince or a emperor's son who fell in love with the cook at the palace and define all things. I can sit there and watch that. I can do the garden by myself. I can sit on the porch by myself. I mean, I can do a lot of things that these things make me happy. I know it sounds weird that these things make me happy. There's a lot of stuff that I can do that makes me happy. I can sit here and write songs. There's a lot of stuff that can make me happy. So it's just simple stuff. And then once you write that down and you start practicing it, then allow inside the spaces of time when you're not doing anything with yourself, bring other people in. Then I'll bring in my family. But I have to insist that I do things that make me happy alone, so that I won't have groupthink mind or I won't have codependency. And codependency, whether it's from these guides or from these higher beings, that codependency also can take away your gaming opportunities while you're here. Your opportunity to, what I mean by here, in this body, because the body is what allows us to see that we're in the game. Without these avatars, we're not in the game. Sort of say we're in the game. However, we can't play the game like we normally play the game. All right, so let me continue. So she says here, okay, so he says, unconditional love has no buts. Unconditional love means without conditions. Also, it helps to have self love that is unconditional. I just dealt with that. And that, my child, is the one area that you are working on. So, because she has a dependency or dependence on needing a father figure, evidently, that's the reason why she's built this relationship, calling him grandfather, because she has a lack there. So in her reality, what's brought to her is what she needs, you know? Okay. And evidently, yeah. Okay. And that, my child, is one area that you are working on. I see your glow, your beautiful glow. You are hard, very hard on yourself. Let me give you a gift. God, source within, loves you without conditions. Hmm. So he gave her a word of encouragement, this Yeshua God did, to let her know that source within loves you. However, source within is self. So if she doesn't spend time navigating the history of her life, if she doesn't look back over her life and start thinking things over, I literally have to write out a timeline and literally go in and remember everybody that I got my whole life to do this. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so why be in a rush? But it only took me 2 o'clock that morning to like maybe 8 o'clock that morning to do this thing and write down how I felt these people felt about me and the last thing they said to me. And some of it, when I was writing, drawn first, I drew the picture of them, what they look like, their name, the last conversation we had. I put like a sentence or two, and then overall, what did this person think about me as a person? The last thing they said to me. And some of these people, I love them to pieces, but some of their statements, I had to shed some tears. And there were times where I was like, man, I just don't want to do any more people, because I had made it to like 38 people, and I was like, this is too much. But I knew I had to do inner work, because I was like, I don't have time for self torment, and I dealt with it, and it really helped me understand. There's a book out there called Tiger, Tiger, Is It True? And it's a kid book, and I tell you, it's so beautiful how Tiger realizes. I did a video on it as well, but that was another channel. And Tiger, Tiger, is it true? Tiger always questioning whether or not what his parents are doing, what his friends are doing, whether they love him when they seem like they're not paying attention to him. However, Tiger realized that just because you have a thought, that doesn't mean it's true. Just because you have a thought, or you're overthinking, sometimes, it's just simply, y'all, we be overthinking. Just keep it real. Overthinking, stinky thinking, that's all. And that book, I read it to my daughter's second grade class when she was younger. She's like going to eighth grade now. I went to the school and read it to the class. I was very animative, of course. And the teachers were taking pictures. They wanted me to read to all the classes, because I really loved that story. And the people did not understand how that kid book helped me so much, because it was Tiger, Tiger, is it true? And Tiger was pouting, and he was groping and moping, and his imagination was going wild. And Tiger had to deal with himself within. He had to understand that his parents arguing wasn't always about him. See? He had to understand that his best friend wanted to go play with other people didn't mean that his best friend didn't love him. See? So we have to understand that just because things don't seem like they're enveloping you, that doesn't mean that people don't love you. It just means that you need to love yourself and love the time you can spend with yourself. And maybe you just start off spending 30 minutes with yourself in the morning, drinking some tea, or just sitting on the porch, and put a timer on. Because if you're an anxious kind of person, put a timer on, maybe 10 minutes, where you're just sitting there and you're just watching the birds and you're just looking at the rain. But, you got a little soft, comforting music on. Not music with words, but just tunes of music that are maybe classical music or something gentle, something that soothes you. And you get to reason with yourself. Okay, let's move forward. So he says, you are hard, very hard on yourself. Let me give you a gift. So the gift was he made a statement about the source within loves you without conditions. Like in your writings, you often say you are perfect in your imperfections. Yeah, we missed the mark. If there's a mark, yeah, we're perfect in our imperfection. Meaning that, hey, when you think you got it lit, something else gonna pop up. You are loved, you are loved, and shall always be. And I think that's the disconnect. The disconnect is we look outside of ourselves for love when really, who can love you greater than yourself? No one. Absolutely no one. Because self is all things. There is no larger truth than that, he says. So she says, I feel the truth in your words. I wish how you are talking to me now that you could talk to me when I need you and when others need me. So she feels that he comes when he wants to talk to her. See what I'm saying? When I need you the most, why you don't show up? Uh, you can try it. We are always here. See, he says we are always here. We being love, spirit, guides, angels, and so much more. See, see. Um, so it sounds like she has walk-ins. Would I advocate for walk-ins? No, I wouldn't. However, to each his own. I wouldn't advocate that because see how she's dependent. I would, I would, I would, I would. I don't know. I don't know if people ever tried just to tell the walk-ins, "Hey, get on the outside, help me on the outside, and let me deal with this inward world by myself to strengthen myself." Because I'm telling you, you can think you're helping somebody by being within, because we're really not separate. However, inside of these avatars, it's nice to be separate so that you can really deal with yourself. I don't care if it's your ancestors. You got to tell them, look, let me ride this life out. Be on the outside. Help me from the outside. Just help me from the outside. And if they can't do that, then tell them, well, you know what? I'm going to figure it out no matter what. And I'm not going to be rude to you, but, you have to move around. And if you get a fright that you can't make that statement, then I don't know how much help has been given to you, because that's called a spirit of fear. See? See? So when you have crutches and you need crutches and they don't show up when you need them, then who's really in charge? Who's really in charge? Huh? That crutch becomes an addiction, and that addiction becomes the master. Yeah. So let's continue. Let's see here. Okay. You say it like it's so easy. Why do I have a hard time hearing you at times? At other times like this, it's easy and you come and clear. Oh, law of attraction. Yes, one law of the universe. Do you remember others? So she's being taught. One law is, she says, law of one. The one is all and the all is one. I think if she would maybe make a board and put it in front of her, she won't forget the law of one, which I would never call it a law of one. I would just say it's just a knowing that we're one. Yet, though we are one, that doesn't mean that everything and anything and everything can invade you. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, we're all one, so it doesn't matter. No, no, no. I'm down here in this avatar. I've been genoed. I've been lowered, and it's for me to pick myself back up. Because when I depend on other people to pick me back up, I'm looking out. Even though it sound like the walk-in is in there, it sounds like it's not always there, or he's not always there, or they're not always there. But maybe it's helping somebody else. Who knows? So it says law number 2 is that we are, so we shall always be, or eternal. Law 3 is the law of attraction. Um, I know it sounds like I'm reading it like yada yada, but it's like when you know something, you practice it. When you know something, when you hear it, it's salt to the it's salt to the vegetables. It's it's good to you. It's there's no childlikeness behavior in there, and to me, that's what she sounds like. She's dealing with this still this. She has all this information, but she's still dealing with this childlikeness. This childlikeness, the state of mind being a child. I think Coburn is still, for some reason, it seems like she's struggling with being the all. Yeah. Even though she has supposedly so much assistance. Hmm. I can only imagine what she's gone through. Okay. Law number 4 is that the only constant is change. I do believe there is one more. She says the only constant is change. Lately, it seems like the only constant is cycles. Things seem like they repeat. But anyway, he says, what do they mean to you? The 4. Okay. One is all and all is one. Says God is all and all is God. The rock, the flower, the animals, the beggar, the king, the universe. Number 2, we exist, so we shall always exist. We have no end. Our physical body may end, but our souls do not. Number 3, with the law of attraction, is that what you put out is what you get back. So with the law of attraction, it's not something you have to work at. It's just something that you have to be aware of, that you reap just what you sow. And I'm gonna tell you that it seems like sometimes you get way more than what you planted. Yeah. Then number 4 is that we can't stop change, like we can't stop growing. Old or our transitions, old or our transition back to our souls. We can't stop change. And 4 is that we can't stop change. I would say we I just don't like the term can't stop. So how would I look at that? We or I it's more of a, things repeat, so, and then there's deja vu. I guess I would say that's just life. So maybe it's more of you don't stop being, you know? Not we can't stop change. We continue being. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay, so excellent. The law might have forgotten is everything is here and now. Everything exists now, even what you feel might be considered a past life, like Norma Jean. What you know about her? Uh-oh. What she say? What you know about her? Okay. Norma Jean. Interesting. Wow. So everything exists now, even what you feel might be considered a past life, like Norma Jean. This is what you know about her. Did he address that? Let's see. Your higher self let you peek into the fractal to see the rabbit trail you were going down again. Uh-oh. I don't know if you recall that your insistence that extraterrestrial exists in a time when the planet wasn't ready got you in a hot water in that reality. Like he has different names. I guess he's trying to say she has different names in different realities. Interesting. So she says, I feel like is why I've always known that extraterrestrials exist and that they've been part of the earth for far longer than I can imagine. So extraterrestrials are those humanoids who are on the outer ice wall lands on the earth. They're not in outer space, but anyway. When you hear extraterrestrial, you think they're extra, way out. No, extraterrestrial. That's land. Extra lands on the earth that they don't put on the regular maps. But you go through the Serpent Gate, and there are other gates you go through, ice walls. And just like Jim Carrey, the show he was on with the domed world he was living in, there outside of our dome world, there's another world on this land that we don't get to see because they block it. The military blocks it, the governments of the world blocks it because a lot of them serve the Anunnaki. Okay, so that's called karma, or the last universal law that states what you put out is what you get back. You put out hate, you get back hate, or you get hate back. You put out non-judgment, then you get non-judgment back. So it really is just more of pay attention to your life. That's why you can't blame people for anything that goes on in your life, because who knows how this game works completely, because like he's saying, here go Don Norma Jean. This girl may be reaping something from Norma Jean because Norma Jean is whoever she be in another reality, but the reality is inside of the game at the same time. Isn't that something? Anyway, we're back to the law of attraction. It gets around. You got it. So anything else you need assistance with? She says, I'm tired tonight, but you can come back tomorrow night. I'd love to talk more about the universe. Say hi to my grandma Mary and all in blah, blah, blah. So um, these walk-ins are dealing with her belief system because she says Mary. Interesting. 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 So, so who did she dedicate it to? Dedication with great gratitude to one consciousness, now and now and now. She's speaking of in the moment, huh? Hmm. Someone gave her a peculiar name too. All right. Thanks for watching.